our very own Attorney General, Tom Corbett. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark, for the kind introduction, and thank you for joining us here today, Senator. It's good to see you, and it's a pleasure to be invited to participate in this event today. As Mark indicated, under law, I am considered the top law enforcement officer of Pennsylvania, and I want to speak to you from that standpoint as to why I give my unqualified support to Senator Santorum. And Mark, you talked about it somewhat on your own when you talked about the issue of leadership. This campaign is one of leadership. This campaign is one of experience. And looking at the Senator's track record in the area that is to us in law enforcement the most important, and actually should be to all citizens, and that's public safety. Senator, I often tell people when I travel around the state that the #1 role of all government, whether it be federal, state, or local, before you build any roads, or you build any schools, or build water systems, or economic development, is public safety. Whether that's safety from external forces outside this country, or safety here on the streets of Wilkinsburg, and Pittsburgh, and Philadelphia, and Harrisburg, and Johnstown, and we can go on and on, even to the rural cities. It's public safety. And that's what we here in law enforcement are dedicated to. And we know that you are dedicated to that also. Your track record speaks for itself. The bills that you have recently introduced regarding internet safety for children that we've worked with you on are just an indication of that. And if you have followed what we are doing in the Attorney General's office, we've been working on child predators, and the Senator's been doing exactly the same thing at the federal level. And there's going to be coordination in regard to our work with the federal government in that regard. We have new threats to our children. Threats have come across the internet rather than out in the schoolyard. And the Senator's bill is going to be very helpful in that regard. We also have new threats in regard to the drug crimes that occur across Pennsylvania. The methamphetamine that comes into this country from outside this country, from Mexico. But also the methamphetamine that is created here within Pennsylvania, the mom and pop laboratories, and the bills that the Senator has passed. And he understands. That's what's important to us. This is an issue of leadership. There's a track record here. As far as I know, Mr. Casey has no track record when it comes to public safety. He has no track record of leadership or experience when it comes to this issue. But the other aspect of this issue of leadership is one, and that's what I would to endorse Senator Santorum, is that he will come out and tell you what he thinks. There's no guessing what the Senator thinks on the issue of public safety. We know where he stands. We do not know, law enforcement does not know, where Mr. Casey stands on this issue. Leadership is coming out and meeting with a group of people and talking to that group of people and exposing yourself to the media, to questions about what you would do when we're talking about helping this country in fighting methamphetamine, protecting our children from child predators, protecting our seniors from individuals who would prey upon them, helping the issue of gang violence and drug violence in our cities. That's the issue of leadership in this case. And to me, that's the reason I support Senator Santorum wholeheartedly, and I certainly endorse his re-election here in November. I think, what, 31 days, 32 days? 30 days. You can tell he's a candidate and I'm not. And quite honestly, I brought with me a 15-minute speech, but I didn't want to keep you going for 15 minutes. Because I think this boils down to two things. It boils down to leadership, it boils down to experience. And for you in the media and for the public who are going to look at the candidates for what they stand for, it's pretty clear. When it comes to public safety, when it comes to the gentlemen surrounding me and the men and women in law enforcement across Pennsylvania, they have spoken that the person that they know from firsthand experience, who has experience and who has leadership and who will represent Pennsylvania in the United States Congress, in the United States Senate, get the money we need here for Pennsylvania to fight these battles, there's only one person. That's Rick Santorum, and I'm happy to introduce him right now, Senator Rick Santorum.